This episode of the Good Living Now podcast is sponsored by our friends at Kuvings. Now, I've had almost every brand of juicer on the market since I started my healing journey in 2015. But the Kuvings Auto 10 has been a complete game changer. It's easy to use and easy to clean. Plus, I'm able to make smoothies as well as sorbets and plant-based milk. So use my code JUICEGUY and save 10%. All right, you know what to do. Get your juice on. Welcome to the Good Living Now podcast, where we talk to real people about real change leading to real health. I'm your host, Harold Leffall, and today we're going to have a very important conversation. We're going to talk about aging gracefully and aging with power. And my guest today is doing just that. She is 71, y'all, and she is fit and fine and age-defying. And she's also a fitness influencer. And she's 71. Did I say that? Yeah, she's 71, y'all. Welcome to the show, Pauline Adeleke.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Pauline.
Thank you. Hey, Harold. Thank you so much for inviting me and sharing this platform with you. I'm just so grateful to you. Thank you.
I'm just so excited to have you. You know, I discovered you months ago on a YouTube video. You were with your nephew and he was doing all these calisthenics and stuff. And you was right there with them. And I didn't know you was 71. And I was like, now, wait a minute now. I said, I can't do all that stuff. And I'm like, so I said, we got to have you on the show to learn what it is that you're doing to be so vibrant and fit at 71. Because so often, you know, in our youth obsessed culture, we think that after 40, 50, 60, that, you know, we're going to decline.
Yes.
You know, we're going to be weak.
Yes.
But it ain't nothing weak about you, Pauline.
Oh, thank you so much. And you know what? Words are very powerful because words lead to thoughts and thoughts lead to beliefs. And just what you said, a lot of women that I've come across, when they're 40, when they're 50, as young as 50 years old, they are falling into a depression because of their age. And, you know, I praise God for your platform and my platform because we can show people, we can demonstrate to people through our actions, through our walk through this life that is not the case. Mm-hmm. The older you get, with God's grace, the wiser you get. Mm-hmm. And life is a gift.
Yes.
It's a gift. So embrace it, enjoy it, and do not let age be the cage around your mind. Don't let it be the cage around your thoughts. Oh, I'm 50. I can't do this. I shouldn't wear that. I shouldn't do this. No. You should live life and you should honor your temple.
Yes. 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 I think it was Mark Twain that says that age is a gift denied to many. Not everyone gets this gift.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Look at my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, 33. Look at Princess Diana. Look at Martin Luther King Jr. And the list goes on and on and on. So I want to express to your audience, don't take this wonderful thing for granted. Don't take it for granted and monitor your thoughts. If it's a thought that's popping in your head, oh, look at this gray hair. Oh my God, I'm getting old. Oh, look at it. No, monitor those thoughts. Welcome the gray hair. Welcome whatever.
Right.
Welcome this wonderful thing called life, the gift of this new day.
I want to go back to you're 71.
71.
Right? Mm-hmm. Unbelievable. But you didn't just wake up like this.
No.
There's some work that you do to be fit and strong like you are. Now, have you always been fit, like your 40s, 50s? Were you always, into fitness? And how did that?
Not the way I am now, but I've always been active.
Mm-hmm.
But when I hit my 40s, that's when I really started turning the volume up on exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the trigger for this was that the trigger was when I was a little girl. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the seed was planted in my mind when I was a little girl because I'm a baby boomer. And I would see my mother and father, they were in pretty good health, but their friends were smokers. It was cool to smoke. Like one friend, my mother had one friend, her name was Aunt Elizabeth, and Aunt Elizabeth was like easy 300 pounds, and she was 5'1", and she was a
Mm-hmm.
smoker, and she was a baker, and she was an eater too, and
Mm-hmm.
she had diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
So at 8 years old, it would be nothing for her to make a sweet potato pie, put it in the oven, have a couple of cigarettes while she's waiting for it to bake. When it's ready, she's pulling it out. She's eating the pie. She's eating the whole pie at 11 o'clock at night, and she's falling asleep about 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a diabetic. So at a young age, I would look at that kind of behavior, and something inside of me would say that's not right.
Mm-hmm.
That's not healthy. So I had little lessons planted all around me, lessons that taught me that I don't want to be that way when I age. I don't want to be
Mm-hmm.
that way as I get older.
Mm-hmm. And you're vegan now, right?
Yes.
And what started you on your vegan journey?
Um, I was in Spain. Well, let me backtrack. I off and on I was plant-based in my 30s
Mm-hmm.
and my 40s.
Mm-hmm.
But I went to Spain and I stayed in Spain for 3 months, Barcelona, and I learned the language. And when I was in Barcelona, I just lost my mind. I was drinking sangria, I was eating food, I was just having a good time.
Uh,
And then when I came back to the States, I went to the doctor for my annual checkup. And as I was getting ready to go to the doctor, I was putting on some slacks and I was saying, what's wrong with these slacks? I can't button them up. Something's wrong with these bad boys. So then I went to the doctor and, he took his tests and whatnot. And he said to me, he said, look, I don't want to see you in a year. I don't want to see you in 6 months. I don't want to see you. I want to see you in 3 months because
mm,
your cholesterol numbers are off the chart. And I
wow.
need to see you in 3 months because I think I'm going to have to put you on statins. Harold, that's all I needed to hear. That was the firecracker that I needed to be put underneath my behind.
And
And
wait,
so
how long
I,
were
I
you there? How
jumped
long were
back
you? How long were you there? How long were you there eating? All the stuff
about
that you were eating.
about 3 months.
Wow, and it
I
had
was
that type
going
of
crazy.
impact. Wow.
I was
So,
going crazy
so in 3 months now, your doctor is thinking about putting you on, medication because, wow,
because of the cholesterol numbers.
wow.
But I knew what to do. I knew what to do. And that's all I needed to hear. That was the firecracker that I needed.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back home. I turned up the exercise even more so. I turned up the volume even more so. And then I really got into my plant based vegetarian eating. And
Mm-hmm.
as I got into it, I noticed that I was having more energy than I had
Mm-hmm.
previously had. Not only was I having more energy, I was sleeping like a baby. I was
Mm-hmm.
sleeping so good. My thoughts were clear. My mind was clear because I wasn't drinking any more sangria. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't acting a fool.
Right.
I was getting serious about my health.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back to the doctors. The doctor said, come back in 3 months later. So I went back in 3 months later.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked at the blood work and he looked at me. He looked at the blood work. He looked at me. He said, my God. He said, what in the world did you do? And
Mm-hmm.
I told him. I got strict on my diet. I changed my diet. I really started hitting my exercise, and that's what I did. He
Wow.
said, your numbers are perfect. I
Mm,
told him what I did, Harold. I had hoped that he would share the secret, but he didn't share it. He kept it to
mm.
himself.
Yeah.
So that's
You
how I.
know, that is so amazing. We had a guest on the show before who had a similar experience where she just changed her diet. She was pre-diabetic and changed her diet, didn't tell her doctor what she was doing, started juicing, changing, and went back, and all her numbers were like they were great. And her doctor was like, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it, but
Right.
don't tell me what you're doing.
Isn't
Don't
that
tell me what."
crazy? And
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that to you.
Hmm.
I really started hitting the juicing.
Mm,
The beets, the celery, the kale, the green apples, the carrots. I really started juicing seriously. I
mm,
really started cleansing my liver because the
mm,
liver was the one that was doing all the cholesterol, sending the
mm,
cholesterol numbers crazy. So I
mm,
started juicing. I started eating. I started exercising. Harold, I started meditating. I
mm,
started meditating.
mm.
And I attribute that all to, my success.
You know, and you know, I tell people all the time, what we put in our body is so important. It's critical, but also what's going on up here also impacts us as well. And so many of us, we live these stress-filled lives, and we could be doing all the right things in terms of what we're eating, but if we're still stressed out and worried and walking around with a lot of fear, that's going to impact us. That's going to increase our cortisol levels, and that's going to create all kind of havoc in our bodies. So that meditation and just being in a peaceful place. I just remember when I was going through my whole cancer experience, like the 2 years, 2 to 3 years prior to that, I was under tremendous amount of stress. And I know that attributed to my diagnosis. It was a combination of things. It was what the things I was putting in my body, and it was the stress level that I was just letting run my life.
Right, right. And you know what? No matter how peaceful you are in your environment, we live in a very stressful time right now.
Hmm.
You know, 2 weeks ago, New York had a little earthquake. We won't talk about the political madness that's taking place. It's a very stressful time that we live in right now. So
Yeah,
you really have to prioritize yourself, your health, your mind, your overall well-being. And
yeah,
you cannot take this thing called life for granted. You can't do it. You can't you can't flush put a hot dog, a cheese dog down your temple and think that that's not going to have an effect.
yeah,
You can't do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Now, we live in a very divisive society right now. Now, I'm not knocking the carnivores. I'm not knocking the keto diet followers.
Mhm.
Whatever rocks your boat and whatever is healthy for your body, do it.
Yeah.
Do it. But for
Mm.
me, and I think for you too,
Mhm.
plant-based vegetarian, that's the way for me to go.
Yeah, yeah. So, Pauline, I know so many people who get to their 40s, and you work with women that are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, helping them to get strong, to get
Yeah.
healthy.
Yes.
Where would someone who's been eating the standard American diet, all their life, hasn't really exercised, may have a diagnosis of high blood pressure or diabetes, where would you suggest that person start?
I would suggest that that person become an educated consumer. That person, yes, you can listen to this advice and that advice, but be educated. Do your due diligence and research. If the doctor gives you a pill and says, you're pre-diabetic. Oh, well, what kind of pill is this? Let me research this and let me see the side effects of this. And let me see if I can start juicing. Would that improve things in my temple? Change my diet. Would that improve things in my temple? So to answer your question, be educated.
Mm,
Educate yourself first. And the
mm,
wonderful thing about living in 2024 is that we have a plethora of materials. Everything is at our fingertips that we
mm,
can study, we can digest, we can question. We
mm,
live in a wonderful time right now. We're getting ready to step into AI seriously. So take advantage of the knowledge that is around you.
mm. And what about working out? Now, like I said, I
Ooh,
saw you working out, and I mean, you doing push-ups, calisthenics, and I'm like, okay, now, where would someone start? And let's say the person who's just never, never worked out, but want to start. What are some things, some simple things that people can do? And maybe they don't have a gym membership. What are some things that people can do that are over 40 just to kind of get their heart rate going and get moving?
yes, I love that question. If you're just getting started, get a water bottle. Get two water bottles. Take the water bottles and go for a little walk. That's a full body workout right there. You're moving your arms, you're moving your wrists, you're moving your shoulders. Start with some water bottles. Start with your own body weight. If you
Mm-hmm.
have a wall in your house, and I know you have a wall, just press yourself against the wall and do some wall push ups. There are a variety of things that you can do. You can go to the internet. You can go to Ageless Fitness Lifestyle channel. You can get some exercises from me.
Mm-hmm.
You get there's in other words, everything is at your disposal. It's
Yeah.
not like you were living in 1920 or 1820. Everything is here for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're rich, you're wealthy in information. So use it.
Mm. Now, I know people are going to want to know what your regimen is. So what do you typically eat in a day?
Well, let me tell you how the day starts. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
The day starts waking up 5 o'clock in the morning, prayer, meditation, affirmations. Brush my teeth, drink my water with lemon and a little coconut water on top to get those electrolytes in. Brush my teeth, put on my sneakers, and start getting after it. I
Mm.
start working out, and I work out on an empty stomach because I
Mm.
don't want my body to be combating inside. I don't want to have a war inside with the digestive system trying to digest the food and the other
Mm.
system trying to give me the energy that I need to work out. So I work out on an empty stomach. After I do that, I'll do my smoothie. Plant-based protein powder. I'll throw in some other nutrients in there, banana, blueberries, blackberries, drink that, and then I'm great. So my first meal isn't really until about 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon because I'm doing intermittent fasting.
Mm.
And from 2 to about 6, no later than 6:30, then I can put food in my mouth. And that food is plant-based, juicing, nuts, seeds, fruits, vegetables.
Mm.
And like I said earlier, Harold, I'm amazed at myself. I'm amazed at the energy that I have.
Mm.
From the minute I get up in the morning, I'm going. I don't feel sluggish.
Mm.
I just go, go, go. And I attribute that all to juicing
Mm-hmm.
and being a plant-based vegetarian girl.
Mm. And what would a typical dinner be like for you?
A typical dinner,
I
yeah,
saw you like beans. I saw your beans were your thing. Lentils.
oh, I love beans. I love beans. I love beans. I was getting ready to say a typical dinner last night was, but also what I do, I try and fast one day
Mm,
out of the week. It could be a Saturday or a Sunday. So Saturday I did my fast. But
mm,
I'll say Friday, I had a gigantic, delicious salad with kale and different kinds of greens and raw Brussels sprouts and tomatoes and avocado. That was
mm,
and I made a delicious cashew nut salad dressing. So that was the salad on the side. And then I had my delicious black beans and I sprinkled some red onions on top of that and a little uh, rice. And that was it.
mm,
And that's all I needed. That's all the body needed. Because
mm.
sometimes, and because I've been dealing with this temple for such a long time, the temple will say, okay, enough. I've had enough. I've had
Mm,
enough. And it's because of those rich, nutrient, fibrous foods that I'm putting in my system instead
mhm.
of, French fries and hamburgers and this and that. You cannot get enough of that stuff.
Right, right. Yeah. And you know what I've found, Pauline, as I've gotten older, my body doesn't need as many calories, it needs more nutrients. And I think a lot of times as we get older, we continue to eat like the same amount of calories
Yes,
and we start putting on weight where our body doesn't need all those calories, it needs the nutrients, you know?
absolutely. And I got to piggyback off of that really quick. I agree with you 100%. And, lots of people in my age group, and I've gotten this comment from people online, and I've gotten it from personal friends, I've gotten it from family members. You're too thin. You need to put some meat on your bones. You're too skinny. I mean, if you get sick, you won't have anything to fall back on.
Mm,
And as I said in a post, why not say, put some more muscle on your bone? Because you
mm,
need the muscle in this
mm,
life to protect the bone. So that's what
mm,
I'm doing. I'm putting the muscle on the bone. So God forbid if I have a little slip in the bathtub in the shower, I can regain my posture and I'm not going to
mm,
fall down and break a bone and end up in a nursing home and then
mhm,
say hello to heaven. Because
mhm.
80 to 90% of fatalities happen in the bathtub, in the shower, because you don't have any muscle. It's
Right.
bone on bone, and when that bone hits the cement, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Mhm.
So, we get messages from all around us. I mean, some people mean us well, I'm sure. You should be eating some more. Here, take some more of this. Here, take some more of that. If you were my cousin, my beloved cousin, if you were my woman, I would have you put some more meat on your bones. I said, thank God I'm your cousin and not your woman.
That is so interesting. Because a lot of times when like even when I started on my health journey, um, family events, we bond over food.
Yes,
And when I started changing my diet and stopped eating the standard American diet,
yes,
that was troublesome for my family. Like, because
yes,
why are you not eating our macaroni and cheese and this and that? And I'm
yes,
like, I'm changing my diet because I've discovered through my research that there was a correlation between dairy and certain meats with
yes,
prostate cancer. And I want to live.
yes,
I want to
yes,
live. So
yes.
for me, it's like it once you get the education, like for me, it was a game changer. It's like, what I'm not gonna knowingly put things in my body that can cause me harm.
I agree with you 100%. Once you had become an educated consumer of what you put in your mouth, it was a game changer. I
Mhm.
remember going to one of my dear friends who I love to pieces. Unfortunately, he passed away. And I went to his funeral in North Carolina in Raleigh-Durham. And at the repast, of course, there was the fried chicken, there was the macaroni and cheese, there were the vegetables that had been soaked so much until they fainted. And then there was the cake and the pastry. And Harold, I actually heard this woman say, I'm going to get another slice of diabetes. I'm going to get
Mm.
another slice of sweet potato pie.
Mm.
Give me another slice of diabetes. And Harold,
Wow.
I was
Mm.
shocked. I was like,
Mm.
what? Really?
Mm. Mm.
I don't get it, Harold. I really don't get
Yeah.
it. But it's the
Yeah.
propaganda. It's the propaganda. I'm sure
Yeah.
you are a sports enthusiast and you look at the TV, it's like Domino's pizza, all the
Mm.
chicken wings you can eat. And
Hmm.
let's talk about those antibiotics, those hormones that those chicken wings were shot up with. And
Right.
these chicken wings are so gigantic now.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's what you are taking into your body.
Right.
So, again, I'm so grateful that you are sharing this platform with me so I can use my microphone and tell people, wake up, wake
Hmm.
up. Realize what you are doing to yourself because it's only you.
Yeah. You know what, Pauline, when the same year I got diagnosed with cancer, I had a good friend who had passed from cancer,
And may
and
I ask what kind of cancer was it?
I had prostate cancer.
Okay.
Yeah. And so he had cancer like 3 or 4 years before that, and it had gone into remission. And I remember asking him, did your doctors talk to you about doing anything different? And he said no. They just gave him chemo and the radiation. It went in remission, and he went back to living his life.
Oh
And no
no.
one told him to change that. No one told him there was a correlation between what we put in our bodies. And so he just continued to do what he was doing. And I remember when I was going through my own experience, I had three doctors. I had a primary physician, an oncologist, and neurologist, and none of them talked to me about disease and diet and the correlation. None of them. None of my doctors. And it was because of my own education that prompted me to make the changes that I did.
I love it. Let me ask you a quick question. Did you have friends around you who were vegan, vegetarian? It was
No.
okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't know anybody that was the vegan. And I didn't even start out being vegan. I just started, as I was getting information, I just started making changes. I read that, meat, because of all the hormones they pump in, and there's a correlation between that and prostate cancer. So I
Yeah,
slowly stopped. Yeah, I think the first thing I stopped eating was beef, and then I stopped with chicken. So it was like a process. It didn't happen
right,
overnight.
right.
And then, the most challenging thing for me to give up was dairy. That was I was so addicted to dairy. And I remember that was a huge part of my diet because when I was younger, we were talking about this low carb thing. So you could eat all the meat and cheese that you wanted, and you could still be fit and thin.
Right.
And that was the big part of my diet. So that was like the last thing that I ended up uh, deleting from my diet. And I'm so grateful, that I did, because it's been 8 years now,
Praise
and
God.
it's all good.
Have you ever thought about doing a cookbook?
I'm thinking about that now because I'm doing this whole year of raw vegan, and so
I
I'm learning
love
how to
it.
make. Yeah, I'm learning how to make different things. So I'm thinking about doing that.
Yes. And the reason why I ask is because I remember one of your posts. You did a delicious dessert. I think it was
Oh,
bananas or cherries or something. It looks so
yeah,
delicious.
yeah, yeah. And I just learned how to make this key lime pie with cashews.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, it was
Yes.
delicious. Yeah, yeah. And it's
Yes.
amazing, like the things that we can create in a healthy way. You know.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
When you get that cookbook out, I'm going to be one of the first. I'd like to order from that one, please.
For sure. So, in turn, talk about your exercise. We talked about what you eat. What's your exercise regimen? And I've seen your videos and I've seen all the stuff that you do, but share with the audience.
Well, I try and get strength training in at least minimum 4 times a week. 3 to 4 times a week, strength training, lifting weights and whatnot. But my love, like with my nephew, is calisthenics, using
Mm,
my own body. So
mm,
I'm a squat queen. I'm a push-up queen. I
mm,
just love working with my own body. And in doing that, you have an appreciation for it even more so. I find
mm,
myself, thank you, wrists. Thank you, wrists,
mm,
for allowing me to use my hands to go up and down on the floor to work out, to do my push ups. So it's mainly 3 to 4 days strength, just about every day calisthenics. I don't know if you've seen some of my posts. I have something called exercise snacks. Exercise
mm,
snacks. So you can do 15 push-ups and consider them as little snacks. And then after you do your
mm,
15 push-ups, go on about your business. Or you can do,
mm,
like 25 sit-ups and do it, and you do 25 sit-ups throughout the day. Maybe you can knock out 4, and that's 100. So you don't have
mm,
to be complacent. Like, if you don't have the time to go to the gym, if you don't have time to work out, you can do little exercise snacks throughout the day, and those
mm,
little accomplishments will turn into grand things. So
mm.
calisthenics, strength training, always ab workout, always working the core every single day.
I can tell because you got a six pack. I said, now wait a minute now. I
Yes, because
said,
you want to have that strong back, and you want to
mm,
make sure that your posture is correct. I see so many people walk through this life all bent over, and 99% of
mm,
the time, why are they bent over like that? Because of their thoughts, because of their
mm,
thinking. So
mm.
you walk like the royalty, like the divinity that you are. And in
Come on.
walking like that, you have to make sure that you have that strong core. And
Yes.
even if you're looking at your core now and you're saying, oh my God, look at this belly, you can accomplish anything that you set your mind to do. Just take
Mm,
it one day at a time. And don't
mm,
give up because of what you're seeing now.
mm,
Bless your stomach, because the stomach is the firecracker that's getting you to move. The stomach
mm,
is the catalyst that's helping you to improve your health. So keep on getting after it, and don't think that just because you are a certain age that it's over.
mm,
Oh, it's my hormones.
mm.
I'm menopausal.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
this runs in the family: obesity,
Mm,
diabetes, heart conditions. Yeah, that ran in my family too,
mm,
but
mm-hmm.
it stopped with this generation right here.
Right.
So you have more power in your hands than you realize it. So take the
Mm,
cataracts off your eyes
mm.
and do what you know you're supposed to do, no matter what your age is. I hope that you have me on your podcast every decade. I
Mm,
mean, August, I'm going to be 72. 8 more
mm.
years to 80. Then there's 90. Then there's 100. Because I'm going to keep on getting after it. If
Yes.
God gives me life, if God gives me life, I'm going to take care of my health. And I'm going to
Mm,
give him all the glory. And I'm going to
mm,
show people, especially women, that you can do it. And
mm,
don't get stuck in a cage because of your age. Don't do it. Get out of it. So many people around you, so many voices. Oh, I'm old. Oh, my knees hurt. You're hearing all of this. My hip hurts. Okay, you can be polite and listen to it, but then you can say, I ain't having that. That's not coming in here. I'm gonna. I pray for you. I hope everything is, but it ain't gonna come in here. It's not gonna come
mm.
in here. That's why I asked you. I said, Harold, did you have any vegetarian or plant-based people around you
Mm,
when you were going
mm,
through this challenge with your health?
mm,
No, you didn't.
mm,
But you had your mind.
mm, mm. Wow, Pauline. Just so much that you've been sharing. And I know that people are going to want to know how they can reach you. And I know you've created a community because you work with women in their 40s, 50s, and beyond to
Yes.
get fit and to stay fit. Tell us a little bit about your community and how people can reach you.
Oh, that's so kind of you, and I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. You can reach me on Instagram at Pauline Adeleke. If you're looking for some exercises, beginner exercises, if you're looking for encouragement, motivation, you can find me at Ageless Fitness Lifestyle channel. It's on YouTube, Ageless Fitness Lifestyle. If you want to take your health in your hands, if you want to get started with an exercise program, I invite you to join me on my app. Go to my website, agelessfitnesslifestyle.com,
Mm.
and let's start getting busy. Let's
Come
start
on.
working out. And we're not going to use any excuses. Oh, I'm 40, I'm 50, I'm 60, I'm menopausal, I'm old. No, those excuses have been flushed down the toilet.
Mm.
Let's start getting busy, working out, squeezing all of the delicious juice out of this thing that we call life and
Mm.
enjoy it. Why do I
Mm.
work out? I work out because I enjoy traveling. I enjoy meeting people. I don't want to get on a plane and somebody has to push me in a wheelchair. Oh,
Mm.
no. I want to electric slide into the
Come on
plane.
now. Come on now.
Yeah.
And finally, I just want to ask you what would you say to someone who is facing a health challenge or maybe over struggling with their weight? What words of encouragement would you give
You don't have to be you don't have to be in a mental prison.
them?
You you don't have to believe everything that you're thinking. Oh, I got this diagnosis. I only have 3 more months. Oh, I'm 100 pounds overweight. I'll never reach my health goal. You don't have to believe those thoughts that you are
Mm,
thinking. So let's change those thoughts that I'm
mm,
going to make it.
mm,
I'm going to prove you wrong, doctor. You think that this cancer is going to end me? Oh no. I still got plenty of things that I got to do on this earth. I still
mm.
got things, I still have people that I have to reach.
Yeah.
I have things that I have to do. So we have to work on our mind, cultivate that thought, and know that maybe I don't even know you. I'm not sure I don't, but know that you have a prayer warrior. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you.
Mm,
And I'm
mm.
believing it. And I'm confirming your health victory. I'm confirming
Come on now.
your weight loss.
Mm, mm.
I'm confirming everything that's positive, and I have it underneath my feet. Everything that's attacking you, everything that's negative, everything that's not true, because you're divine,
Come
divine.
on.
So realize where you come from. You're not an
Mm,
ant. You're not a roach. You're not a You're divine.
mm,
Oh
mm.
God, sometimes I have to say, Pauline, but you turn the volume down,
Mm-mm.
girl.
No, no, no. That was so good. That was so good because mindset is everything. It is
Mindset is
everything.
everything,
It is.
Harold.
It is everything.
Mindset is everything. You know, the one Olympic that I really enjoy watching, I think it's called the Paralympics. I'm not sure. But these are athletes. Some athletes don't even have arms. But they use their teeth and they do archery and they win goals. Do
Mm.
you think that they say, well, I don't have any arms, I can't shoot a bow and arrow? No,
Mm.
they make it happen. People don't have legs, but
Mm.
yet they're doing fencing. They're playing
Mm.
tennis and they don't have legs.
Mm.
It's a mindset.
That
Get
is.
a grip on your mind and be careful with people you hang around with. Don't let them messages come in here. Oh no, it stops. It's not coming in
Mm.
here. I can do
Mm.
anything that I set my mind to do.
Yes.
Anything.
Mm.
And I'm not going to be hypnotized by any diagnosis.
Mm.
Oh no, not
That's right.
me.
Wow. Pauline, I remember when I got my diagnosis of cancer, I never thought I was going to die. Now, other people around me
I
may have
know
thought that.
it.
Other people around me may have thought that. I never thought that. I
And
never
how
thought
old
that.
were you when you got that
I
diagnosis?
was 48. Yeah, I was 48. Yeah. 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 So, yeah, thank you for reminding us, though, how important mindset is,
It's so important.
and how sometimes our mind can play tricks on us, have
Of
us thinking
course.
things that are not true.
Of
Yeah.
course, Harold.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't want to walk around. I don't want people to think that, I'm like skipping through this life. I have to
Well,
fight the same battles that you
yeah.
have to fight.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
In the morning, that's when the devil really starts getting crazy. But
Mm-hmm.
I'll throw on a gospel song. I'll throw on some gospel R&B. I'll start moving my body. I'll start dancing. I'll start getting into my word. And
Mm.
he has to flee. He
Come
can't
on now.
stay around me.
Come on.
No.
Wow. Pauline, thank you so much. Thank you for your light. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your example, for showing us that we can be fit and fine at any age, because you are doing it.
Thank you so much, Harold. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.